I'm excited for this video because this is one of the tools in Young Money Investments that I spent a lot of time creating, developing, iterating, and making better so that all you have to do is the bare minimum effort. This is one of the tools. The Young Money Investments Indicator is a tool that uh, took a while and it's come through various iterations. But this tool allows you to passively systematically invest in the stock market for decades. And the best part about this tool is that it allows you to see decades of history of what would have happened and occurred had you invested in specific companies. And it gives you some really good metrics. So without further ado, let's show you how to set it up. Let me show you some of the tips and tricks, but let's keep it short, sweet, and to the point. If you are in the VIP trader section, you will have access to the Young Money Investments Indicator. Now, if we look here on Discord to get the indicator, go to the stock section and you can click on pinned messages and you will see where it is at. So you can click on this message here and it'll take you to where you need to go. There are steps to getting this set up. You're going to need to give me your Discord username, which you can find just right, let's see, just right in here. So it'll tell you what your username is. DM me that username on Discord, and I will get you authorized. Then what you're going to do is you're going to click on the link here. That is going to take you to a web page once you have your account set up, and you can read about the indicator. Now, I could go through all this with you, but to save again some time on the video, I'm going to just explain things. Make sure you read through this, read through some of these updates and everything. And there is not just one indicator, and this is the OG version, but we also have an experimental version that has some sell signals as well in it. So if you click on the second link here, it is going to take you to this revised version. And before I put the cart before the horse, so to speak, I'm not going to explain too much about this, but there are two. So you add these once you have access. You can go to, where's the add button? Use on chart. I believe will give that to you, and you'll then be able to see this on your chart. So if I click use on chart, boom, just added it here to my charts. You're going to see it here in this section. So like YMI signals is what it was, and we'll go through the settings and everything here. But going back to the Discord area, that's all you're gonna have to do. The other cool thing with this indicator is that we also have signals that are developed. It is primarily, again, an investment indicator. There's not sell signals for the main strategy as of yet. The reason being, the stock market tends to go up over time. Knowing when to dollar cost average or buy the dip is extremely valuable. A lot of people tend to buy the dip too early. They oversize in. And what this strategy allows you to do is have a systematic approach to know when the markets are or a stock is oversold, to systematically buy in and be consistent and save some powder, some dry powder as time goes on, so that you're not overly investing too early and your dollar cost average is way too high. Looking at the chart here, we're going to go to, let's go over here to TradingView. And once you get the indicator on your chart, you're going to see it down here. We're going to turn off this upper one for now. But there are a total of 6 different buy signals or rankings of signals. And they range from yellow to orange to light green to regular green. You'll have a dark green and a black. And I don't believe Tesla has any of those. Now you're going to see here, orange being the lightest signal, they are also ranked in the indicator settings area with a dollar amount. So you have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, and $600 in theory for the back test of what you would be investing in a particular company at any given time. So for example, with Tesla, anytime that there is a yellow buy signal down here, in theory, for this back testing software, we would be putting $100 in to Tesla. If the orange signal appeared, we would be putting in 200. If there was a green signal, light green signal, we'd be putting in 300. Regular green, we'd be putting in 400. Dark green, we'd be putting in 500, and then there will be a black signal, and it would simulate putting in $600. And you go, well, Cameron, why would that matter? Why would we, want to know that? Well, what's really cool about this, again, is it gives the investment signal on these particular days. And with this table here, you can see the metrics of what your returns would have been over any given period of time. For example, if we looked at Tesla and we had bought on these signals, again, not selling, meaning we hadn't even sold as Tesla has pulled back uh, almost 50%, right? Um, we would not have been selling. But still, based on this, if you started buying with these signals on January 1st, 2017 till now, you would be up a total of 288% on your investment, compared to if you dollar cost average, meaning you put $100 into the S&P 500 every single month, you would have a dollar cost average return in the S&P 500 of 66.62%. You're making a lot more money, obviously, in Tesla. And granted, it's done extremely well. Is it likely that you're going to have tons of these returns where you invested $4,200 and had a net return minus your initial principal of $20,500? No, that's not too common. Just based on putting in $100 to $500, a few times over the course of the last 8 years. You're going to not normally have that. However, what is really cool about this is that if you go to settings here, you can also see more metrics. So you can go in here, you can even turn off the performance table if you don't want to see those tables. But let's say you wanted to see if you just had gotten into the S&P 500 on January 1st of 2017, you bought one time and never added to it, right? What was the S&P 500's return without averaging in? Well, you can turn that on here and you can compare that as well. You'd be up 173.89% versus your other holdings. So if I bought $1,000 worth of the S&P 500 on January 1st of 2017, that is what this value shows. That's not averaging in, which most people are going to continue to buy and average in as you make more money in your job, right? You can also see what would happen if you bought and held Tesla. Let's say you were really lucky and you were really smart, but you just bought one time. What would be your overall return in Tesla? Well, you would have made a lot more, right? You would be making 1,644%, which is insane. However, you probably wouldn't have bought in and bought 97 shares of Tesla, right? And again, this is why this strategy works so well. Everything's an average game. You're never going to get in at the very, very bottom, and you're never going to sell at the very, very top. It's all about equal distributions over time. And what's great is this also can show you the dollar cost average of averaging into Tesla over the same time period. Now, most stocks are not going to be this good, but if you had dollar cost averaged into Tesla over this same period of time, you would make 467, almost 468%. So you're nearly 20% less averaging into Tesla than if you had followed the strategy here. And so what that means is it's fairly even. However, 20% is 20%. Doesn't matter how you slice it. 20% is 20%. So you can change a lot of those things. You can show also the position value over here. So if we pull this up, you can see the number of shares you would have bought. You can see the total amount you would have invested, what the overall position value would be. And then you can also see the net gains and losses. Obviously, that is this value minus your initial investment. That's what your net profit ends up being. And again, yours might actually show all those things when you first turn it on. To change the date, you just go in here. You can change the, let's say you wanted the start date to be, I don't know, for, wait, the date, yeah, let's just say the 4th, let's say the 4th of April of 2020 for some reason. You can then put that in and it will show you what your returns would be as well. You can again turn off some of these different uh, stats and things like that in here. So what's really neat is you can go back even further. You can run this on different time frames. I am a big fan of simply running this on the daily chart, just because it's a long-term investment. However, there is a way to trade this using smaller time frames. This does work on smaller time frames as well. So if you want, and I will use this on different time frames, I have different strategies and ways to use this as well. We can use it to determine if it's a good buying time by running this on a ticker like MMFI. And this tells you the percent of stocks above the 50-day moving average, which is, again, pretty cool. And what this will do then is it gives you good times to buy the S&P 500. That was a good buying opportunity. Recently was a good buying opportunity. We're still in a good buying range, a good buying area. And you can use, again, you don't have to use the YMI indicator on this, but you can. I love to use it this way because it gives me good times to ideas or areas to buy. And then we also have this other YMI signal indicator, which I can go in. I'll show you my settings just so you can see what they're set to right now when you add this to your chart. But this one I'm still messing around with, changing it. Now you can see what the settings are if you want to copy those for for anything. But now you can actually see this additional indicator, the newer one, and you can combine those signals that seem to be pretty decent. So we're not getting any signals here. Got some signals all the way back in 2020. Perfect buy opportunity, beautiful sell opportunity, and these aren't repainting either. So these do not repaint. You can see that one was wrong, even though it did pop up a little bit more, did come down. That's middle of the channel. Normally it's not a great buy. That ended up being a great sell. That would eventually work out. But again, great sell, decent buy. This indicator, these indicators, this class of indicators is for longer term things. However, you can use these on shorter time frames. I have a strategy where I'm using it for buying the VIX as well. So we can turn this over to VIX, and I'm giving you way too much information. You could probably cut it off right here and go, Cameron, that's enough. Like I don't need to take in any more detail at the moment. But the VIX, you could use this as times when the market is likely to pop and rally. So if you would have bought the VIX down here, meaning sold your stocks and bought puts, you would likely be a very happy person. That is insane how that has worked. So this indicator, again, going back to the overarching themes here, this indicator is you don't need a TradingView, you don't need to pay for TradingView, although it does help because you can add more indicators and things, but you do not have to pay for TradingView. You can create a free account. This indicator works mostly how I normally use it. I use it on the daily chart. You can use it on lower time frames though. It'll work on some lower time frame charts. You can mess with that and see if you can then create your own sell signal. And this can be used as a swing trading tool. Again, we're primarily using it as a investment tool. But the last and final thing I will throw out there for you is that in the prediction models section, every day at the end of the session, this model will go through and it will scan over 700 tickers and it will give you buy signals. And so as you can see right here, some of the last ones we recently got, I could probably scroll down, but Some of the more recent ones we got were on Dexcom. Google got a buy, which is very, very rare since it's such a large company. And then we have a lot of these ETFs. Now, do I buy all of these companies every day? Absolutely not. I could create a list of just oh, and Nvidia even got a first buy signal, which is kind of crazy in a long time. Um, could I kind of curate this list maybe a little bit more? And could I curate this list a little bit more and make it just the stocks that I want to buy? Absolutely. But the goal with that list that we have is that you can pick companies again that you see long-term value in. There's investing is a very personal thing. It's not something that someone can tell you this is exactly what you need to do unless they're a financial advisor and you're paying them for that service. But you need to be able to pick which companies you are going to be in for the long haul. And so what this does is it allows you to find the stocks very quickly. Every single day, you're able to go in, check this list. It takes 2 minutes to read through the companies that have the signals. Once you get those signals, you then go on to your chart here. Like we can go to Google, go to Goog, and we'll see that there is a buy signal here recently. We got that buy signal right on the money right before us. It was Thursday, I guess. So that is the YMI indicator. If you have any questions, if you need help with it, let me know. This is, again, I'm a big believer in the 1-2 punch. You need to have a long-term investment strategy because time is on your side. But you do need money, right? You got to be able to incrementally build up your capital. That's where the day trading aspect comes in. So we use a combination of long and short-term vehicles to get us to where we want to go. I'll catch you in the next one.